The original Dingo was a product of the early 80s. Designed and built in Australia, it was, at best, a handy mechanised wheelbarrow. Fast forward to 1991, and the Dingo came into the hands of its current owners, and so began its evolution into the powerful and versatile machine it is today. Yes, the now legendary Dingo 950 was aptly referred to as the hydraulic power plant on wheels. With double the horsepower of the original Dingo, it featured an incredible power-to-weight ratio and a massive range of special attachments. This is the machine that truly revolutionized the mini digger industry. Today, the Dingo is not only regarded as the world leader, it can also rightfully claim its place as Australia's preferred mini digger. But as you'd expect from a world beater, the best just keeps getting better. Yes, Dingo has done it again with an all-new revolutionary design and an even more impressive list of features. But more about them later. You'd have to wonder why Gary and Wendy chose to base the Dingo factory in Dalby.
We choose to set up our business in Dalby on purpose. It is the centre of Eastern Australia, halfway from Cairns to Melbourne. Dalby's a really good place for transport. It's very central for us, and there's no problem to go to internationally, overseas, New Zealand, Western Australia, or anywhere up and down the East Coast. As well as that, it's a great place for staff. We have a country attitude here, and the staff really look after us, and we can really look after them. So our quality of our product is reflected by the quality of our staff.
Yes, Dalby could well be termed the hub of Eastern Australia. A transport network that generates timely delivery to all Australian and New Zealand centres. Dalby is halfway between Melbourne and Cairns, the ideal location to produce such a world-leading piece of equipment. With this strong manufacturing base and over 15,000 people in the area, it has proven to be a very stable community to draw a skilled workforce from. Yes, a central location, great transport services, and a progressive and innovative management team. Just what you'd expect of such a world-leading organisation. The team at Dingo Mini Diggers is driven to the pursuit of excellence, and this attitude is evident in every step of the Dingo's production process. From design to delivery, and at every point along the way, the Dingo team focus on detail and innovation. Dingos are produced using a superior mix of computerized machining and skilled people to produce quality equipment that you can rely on, that you can trust. Robotic welders and machining centres provide reliable accuracy, whilst trained personnel hand-build every Dingo. The Dingo is truly a hand-finished machine in the class of the best car manufacturers. There are no optional extras. Every Dingo comes with everything you need. Aside from the quality of the machine, part of their success can be attributed to the unique ability to support Dingo owners through their network of distributors and company-owned branches. Right across Australia and New Zealand, Dingo owners have access to local service facilities and a comprehensive range of spare parts. Staff in each of these locations are trained in Dingo sales and service and are there for one reason: simply to help Dingo owners get the most out of their machines. The Dingo can handle a vast range of labour replacement tasks across a variety of industries, from landscaping to mining, construction to telecommunications.
Yeah, well, our plan is we go out and we check the power poles for safety reasons. The Dingo makes it a lot easier, of course, a lot better than using a shovel. You can get around a pole where you might have crop, for instance, or fences close by, and you can manoeuvre the Dingo in Anything any bigger would, yeah, you'd have to have bigger equipment to carry it, of course.
I've seen them a lot around the place and thought that they were a bit of a toy until I got hold of the machine and used it and worked with it. It worked excellent. You know? It works well above its expectations, I think.
Well, our mini loader that we've got here, it's used for a lot of uses. It's a pretty versatile tool and extremely important. We use it for clean-up primarily, first thing. Then it's used for carrying tools, equipment around, carrying parts of the plant, pump parts, screen parts. We use it for pushing equipment around. If we're working on the big loaders and we want something to act as a strong man, we use the loader to push gear around.
Yes, in factories and suburban backyards, Dingos are doing the jobs that could only previously be done by hand. But unlike conventional skid steer loaders, the Dingo is designed to power the incredible range of attachments it uses. That's why it's known as the hydraulic power plant on wheels. At the heart of the Dingo is its unbeatable power-to-weight ratio and a compact, go-anywhere profile that larger skid steer machines cannot match.
The advantage of the Dingo now, and especially now, is in Brisbane and virtually anywhere. Your building blocks are down to a small size. They put a house on it, and it's getting to the stage where you can't get big machines in. So you need a limited access machine, and this machine will get there. It'll go through now 970mm opening. We can get it down with narrow wheels. To get it into here, we had to come through a doorway that's under 1 metre wide. You won't get a bobcat in there. So the future's in these small machines. And they've got so much power and there's so many different attachments that you can get for them. So I've got a trencher for it, and on trenching it's quicker than the bobcat. It's got more power, and the hydraulic system seems to be a hell of a lot more advanced. And it just saves us so much time. Like what we've done in here this morning with it probably put us about 3 days ahead. If you had fellas in here on jackhammers, and then you've got to shift it. Well, we can do all that while the machine's in here.
Yes, maximised access, minimised disturbance and compaction. But the real genius of the Dingo is the ability to divide the hydraulic power and direct it where you need it. Every Dingo has dual hydraulic pumps, a larger pump and a smaller pump. When the pump selector is in the rabbit position, the large pump powers the wheels to achieve faster ground speeds, great for digging, levelling and loading. But for jobs such as trenching and post-hole digging, where the wheels need little or no power, select the turtle position and the attachment gets the brute power of the large pump whilst the small pump powers the wheels. How's that for using your hydraulics? Now add to that another standard Dingo feature, the flow divider, a truly unique system that gives you the flexibility to take on almost any task. Yes, the flow divider allows you to control the division of power between the wheels and attachments in precise increments. This means that you direct the power to exactly where it's most needed. This innovative design means that the oil runs cooler and therefore the machine runs more efficiently. In fact, the system delivers up to 47 litres per minute at an incredible 3,400 psi. Now that's hydraulic heaven. But all that power would be useless in lesser machines. Dingo used 2 lift rams, one on each side for greater strength and stability, and the width of the arms also give maximum bucket stability. Yes, the Dingo is well balanced with a low centre of gravity, and being the heaviest machine in its class, it can obviously also lift the most weight. The world leader and the favourite Dingo 950 has now been upgraded to the new Dingo K9 III. So, how do you improve on the best? You give it more protection out front for the engine and hydraulic system. build in even larger pins and pushes for less joint maintenance. And to improve operator comfort, you fit it with a rubber-cushioned operator's platform. The K9-3 is fitted with your choice of petrol engines in either the 22 horsepower Kohler or the 22 horsepower Robin, both twin-cylinder V engines. With all those features, the all-new Dingo K9-3 is a worthy successor to the industry leader and benchmark Dingo 950. Top of the range is the all-new K9-4, and there is nothing else like it. This incredible evolution has been designed from the ground up to deliver improved performance and capacity in almost every way. Yes, more engine horsepower, more hydraulic power, greater lift and reach, and more lifting capacity, and all in an even more compact machine. It also boasts higher lift. The arms are now cast steel for more strength, and the new design allows them a dump height of 1.835 metres when fitted with the 4-in-1 bucket. Dingo have also bumped up the lifting capacity. Yes, the K9-4 now has a safe lifting capacity of 325 kilos. For diesel operators, a 3-cylinder Yanmar delivers 25.6 horsepower of quiet, smooth power. For petrol and LPG, a 25 horsepower Kohler, both units well known and respected. And despite all that extra performance, a standard K9-4 is just 970 millimetres wide, 760 millimetres when fitted with the optional 3-inch tyres. Yes, a more compact machine, a more powerful machine, and with all the hallmarks of a Dingo. Now you can take the Dingo off the leash and let it take all the risks for you. Yes, the remote-controlled Dingo K9-4 is just the thing for those jobs where conditions are just too hazardous for an operator. They're great around hot smelters, factories and mine sites. It operates just like any other Dingo, but from a set of comfortable controls around the operator's waist. The controls are so easy to use. Located in the same position as the conventional machine, so there's no learning curve required. Turning, lifting and loading, all at the tip of your fingers. Even start and stop the machine. You will never again need to take your life in your hands to enter hazardous areas. To give additional protection to your trusty K9, armour plating has been fitted to the sides, rear and top. They're almost bulletproof and will stand falling debris and the odd knock. Yes, this is the answer to all your material movement jobs in hazardous situations. The remote-controlled Dingo. It's the Dingo you can unleash and send into hell. The Dingo does the digging, but the newest member of the Dingo family does the dumping. Yes, the Dingo Dumper is bred from the same thoroughbred lines and is the perfect companion for your Dingo when it comes to shifting loose material. Capable of carrying 4 Dingo bucket loads at a time, it can load directly to a skip or small tipper. Available in 2 models, a standard 13.5 horsepower and a 20 horsepower model for faster ground speeds. Just like the Dingo, it can fit through a normal doorway, so access is never a problem. Use the front edge of the bucket to rough level fill, or back blade to a fine finish. The Dumpa is a skid steer, just like the Dingo, giving it incredible manoeuvrability. Just look at this thing turn. Just the thing for the backyard cleanup, carrying rubble from demolition sites, or even a site cleanup in a multi-storey building. I'll bet you can think of a lot more uses for this little beauty. Take any normally configured forklift off the slab and just watch them struggle. Enter the mighty Dingo rough terrain telefork. Small enough to fit on with the load, but strong and agile enough to place the load to exactly where it's needed. No compromises, no frustration. Yes, tight areas, gutters and rough or soft ground are not a problem for the Dingo rough terrain telefork with its four-wheel drive ability. But the real problem with small forklifts is balance. Solved by pulling the weight back over the wheels for travel. Only the Dingo can do that. And the load, as much as 675 kilograms, can be lifted to 1.5 meters high if required. How's that for impressive? Of course, just like a normal Dingo, they can squeeze through a normal doorway. And weighing only 1,150 kilograms, they can go places that you'd never dreamed of. Access to and from the rough terrain telefork is so much easier than a forklift. Imagine the time and injury savings in this feature alone. And just look at the rough terrain telefork maneuver in tight places. There's virtually nowhere this little beauty can't go. So if you need to take heavy loads into difficult or inaccessible places, you really must check out the Dingo rough terrain telefork. It's because Dingo does so many things so well that we don't call it a mini loader. We call it a mini digger. Its abilities in tasks such as trenching, post hole digging, stump grinding, and even road profiling are exceptional. Dingos are the only mini diggers in the world with a unique quick hitch system. This system makes attachment lightning fast and extremely easy. For all attachments, absolutely no lifting or muscle work is required. Simply unlock the pins, crowd and reverse out. Straight into the next attachment. Lift and crowd back. Lock the pins and you're away to the next job. How simple is that? If the attachment requires hydraulics, then simply plug in the two hoses. How many attachments can you put on a Dingo? We can list well over 40 without trying. And then Dingo owners are always coming up with more ideas. It seems that once again, we are only limited by our own imaginations. A range of undercarriage options are available, even a set of tracks. So mud and slush stand as no barrier to the Dingo. The K9 digger will astound you. It was developed for those situations where a normal backhoe or excavator won't fit. But as it turns out, it's got more breakout power than most of the competition. Once again, it is because of the Dingo's superior hydraulic pressure. At 1 metre or 39 inches wide, the K9 digger can get into tight situations and can dig to a depth of 2 metres or 78 inches. Yes, for about the price of a mini excavator, you get a Dingo thrown in. Therefore, you have a machine that not only digs the hole or trench, but can landscape the site as well. The standard bucket width for the Dingo is 300mm or 12 inches. Buckets are also available in 200mm or 8 inch and 450mm or 18 inch width. Blades are extremely useful for filling long trenches. All you have to do is set the angle and drive from end to end. It is also handy for pushing dirt and making drains. The Dingo block splitter allows you to split blocks of up to 610mm in length, quickly and easily without straining your back. This powerful tool works in the horizontal position. The block can either be lifted onto the attachment, or for larger, heavier blocks, the splitter can be crowded forward to split the block whilst it is still on the ground. The semi-automatic operation delivers an incredible 13 tonne of splitting force, and the cycle time of the Dingo block splitter is just 10 seconds. A back-breaking job that would previously have taken hours with an axe can now be done much easier in a fraction of the time. The Broom Blade combination can be angled with a simple adjustment to allow the sweepings to be windrowed. This broom is best suited to sweeping grass clippings and leaves off paths and driveways. The Broom Bucket sweeps 1.2 metres or 47 inches wide and can collect 50 litres of rubbish. It can then carry the rubbish to a standard industrial bin and tip it in. This tool is used widely in factories, workshops, roadworks and car parks for removing dirt and dust. The brush can be adjusted as it wears to maintain efficient sweeping. The Dingo converts easily to a mobile cement mixer when the cement mixer bowl is fitted to the post hole digger drive. And check this out. Once the mixture is ready, simply drive to where the cement is needed and set the bowl in reverse to empty it. The Dingo debris puller has many uses. It can be used anywhere that material has to be pulled out from under something. Conveyors, scaffolding, kilns and sawmills all tend to frequently need material cleaned out from underneath, but it won't be limited to just these places. With up to 3 extensions, it can reach up to 5 metres, pulling debris from those hard-to-reach places. The Dingo can slowly place the scraper bar over the material and pull it out. It can even manoeuvre around obstacles like scaffolding legs. Uses so far include removing coal spills from under wash plants and conveyors, removing glass from under the cooling conveyor at Pilkington Glass, shifting build-up and spills from under bulk storage silos at the Port Pirie lead smelter, and pulling back bark and chip from under the debarker at a major sawmill. Usually the debris puller pulls the product out and then the puller is detached from the Dingo and a bucket attached to carry the product away. Again, the Dingo replaces hand labour in places where no one wants to be. The Ezi-Corer is the easy solution to wide diameter hole cutting into concrete. Powered from the Dingo's auxiliary circuit and supported on the operator's platform, the Ezi-Corer easily drills holes up to 400mm wide and 600mm deep. Being mounted on the Dingo gives the Corer the ability to drive large diameter bits steadily and accurately. The Ezi-Driver was developed to solve the problem of difficult-to-install earth rods that usually come in 1.5 metre or 59-inch lengths. Typically, a man would have to stand on a stepladder with a jackhammer to drive the rods into the ground. This practice was obviously dangerous, hard work and prone to injury. The Ezi-Driver eliminates all the hard work by driving in the rods with a hammer suspended from a mast. As the hammer drives the rod into the ground, the winch and mast lower the hammer, driving the rod all the way in. This is obviously a lot easier on the operator than the old method. The Ezi-Hammer Drill is used for drilling blast, anchor and test holes in rock and concrete. Using a rotational hammer drill and supported by a 1.5 metre or 59-inch stroke mast, the Ezi-Drill can drill up to 3 metres or 10 feet into the rock. Compressed air is pumped through the end of the drill bit to blow the waste material from the hole. The hammer drill can also be used horizontally against a wall. If you're looking for an affordable, compact yet powerfully featured direct push hammer and auger head soil sampling machine, then look no further. The Dingo mounted Ezi-Probe is it. This incredible machine can go almost anywhere, even through normal doorways. But don't let the size fool you. This is the definitive mighty midget. Yes, the Ezi-Probe uses every bit of the Dingo's 3400 PSI power pack to give as much punch as rigs twice its size. And how's this? A hydraulic rod clamp for ease of use and rear stabilizing legs so that the machine can set up almost anywhere. For those that need the added versatility of moving quickly between sites, the Ezi-Probe has two mounting heights. The normal position being for on-ground use, and the higher position is to allow the unit to be operated while still on the trailer. Ezi-Probe have even designed a trailer with a cut-out floor to allow the probe to work on the ground and still be on the trailer itself. Alternatively, the truck-mounted Ezi-Probe offers the same mast package as the Dingo mount, but with the option to run a longer mast. This means more depth per rod. Now this unit is especially useful if you're a contractor that must also move quickly between remote sites. Due to the weight of the truck, slightly more downforce may be applied to the tip if sampling in hard conditions. Mounted on a custom-built 6-wheel Nissan Patrol ute, it boasts hydraulic power pack and stabilizer legs. A tool and sample storage locker are also provided for convenience. Ute or Dingo mount though, tooling for both types is available in several standard and custom configurations. Options include open tube sampling, discrete sampling, water or gas sampling, and instrument installation. Ezi-Probe can also supply local and overseas manufactured tooling for either direct push or auger methods. They also supply push-in instrumentation such as standpipe, pneumatic and vibrating wire piezometers, and single-point extensometers. This mighty machine is so easy to use and so easy to live with. No cuttings on the surface, drastically reducing time spent on decontamination, site cleanup and disposal. Just look at how little it disturbs the site. The small diameter holes mean it's quick to grout directly through the rods or by a small diameter grout tube. Imagine the time and cost savings in this feature alone. Transport costs are minimized, and of course the probe can be easily detached from your Dingo to make it available for any number of other jobs. A true workaholic. So if you're looking to forge new frontiers of productivity in the expanding environmental sector, soil testing or the geotechnical market, if you're looking for a fast method of retrieving quality soil, water and gas samples, if you're looking to capitalize on the increasing regulation with a solution that meets and exceeds the growing demands in environmental management that avoid spreading contamination even by the operator's hands, then you owe it to yourself to check out the Ezi-Probe. You'll be glad you did. The direct push method is not new and is gaining popularity. In fact, in the USA, this method has superseded many traditional methods of sampling. It comes at a fraction of the cost of other sampling rigs and exhibits strengths that will become self-evident. Developed through years of hands-on experience by the manufacturers, the Ezi-Probe is perhaps the most innovative example of these incredible advancements. Yes, the Ezi-Probe is the brainchild of Geotechnical Systems, a company with a strong history and an original end user in civil engineering in Australia.
Yes, I think we can do something there.
This compact machine uses the obvious advantages and brute power of the Dingo's unique 3400 PSI hydraulic system to achieve performance way beyond its size. Remarkably, a 2-inch sample tube is easily hammered with some 85 joules of energy. a push force of over 80 kilonewtons at 1450 beats per minute. Now that's impressive. When it comes time to withdraw the rod, up to 10 tons force can be applied. A hydraulic rod clamp makes easy work of it, saving the operator having to fit pull caps to each section. The machine can sample down to 30 metres if necessary. Cores are retrieved in transparent sleeves and capped both ends, free of contamination, untouched even by human hands. The Ezi-Probe is absolutely suited to engineers who wish to view a section of the soil profile on site. Discrete sampling is its forte. No drilling fluids. No mixed soil horizons. Just clean, accurate samples ready for analysis. Fitted with a powerful 29 cubic inch auger drive, your Ezi-Probe can be used to gain access to soil even if it is below pavement or concrete slabs. By fitting any readily available concrete cutter to the Ezi-Probe, you can make light work of even the toughest surface. And obviously, by combining the power of the hammer and the torque of the rotary head, you can now achieve incredible feats. You can even use a down-the-hole hammer to create up to 100mm holes down to 20 metres or more. Some operators have even fitted diamond coring drill heads. Yes, this is a really compact diamond drill rig. Sampling groundwater levels and quality is made so easy with the Ezi-Probe. Simply insert the screen behind an expendable drive point and drive it to depth. The screen can then either be retrieved and the hole grouted and abandoned, or alternatively, the specially designed Ezi-Probe PVC screens can be left permanently in position, always ready for future sampling. Now that's handy. Gas sampling is also a specialty. Simply drive the retractable point into the ground to sampling depth. The rods are then pulled back until the point is released. A post-run tubing system is then pushed down the rods and connected to the top of the screen. This obviously ensures that the drill string does not contaminate the gas sample. Vacuum pressure is then applied to retrieve a sample into a clean vial for storage. Finally, the rods are retracted and the hole grouted back as required. And there it is, a simple and effective gas sampling machine that will fit almost anywhere. A number of sample sizes and lengths are available depending on your requirements. 40mm and 25mm diameter soil cores with lengths of 0.6 of a metre to 1.5 metres. All tooling and sampling equipment has been tried and tested on our contracting machines, so you can expect reliable solutions. All consumables and tooling are kept in stock in the Melbourne warehouse for immediate dispatch, thereby ensuring you're not held up on your project. With increased housing pressure, so many homes are built on less than ideal foundations these days. Over time, slabs start to move, slide or sink, often requiring a complete rebuild, or at the very least, underpinning. One of the difficulties with underpinning is getting the equipment inside without knocking down half the house. The engineers at Dingo Australia have developed a clever and unique solution, the limited access Dingo Underpinner. In essence, what they had to come up with was a machine that could drill a large diameter hole and do so tight up against the wall that sits above it and take the hole right down to solid bedrock below, and in a form that was small enough to get inside the house. Now that's a challenge. Remarkably, the Dingo team came up with an underpinner which can be easily moved inside a house without the need for removing walls. In fact, you won't even have to remove the front door. It can drop the hole to within 50 millimeters of an internal wall and not even touch it. However, despite its compact size, the power of this machine is absolutely outstanding. This remarkable machine can drill a whopping 450 millimeter hole down to an unbelievable 11 meters in depth. That's a 450 millimeter hole just 50 millimeters from the wall down to 11 meters, and all in a machine that you can put through a standard doorway. So how does it work? Firstly, a drill punches through the slab at strategic points according to the engineer's specifications. Then the underpinner is rolled over the mark and with extension augers drills down to bedrock. All dirt and debris is removed and the slab jacked back up to the original and correct height. A concrete pier is then poured into the hole and consolidated to the old slab. Yes, in a matter of a few days, the house is returned to its former glory. But this time, it's not going anywhere. When you consider how much time and money can be saved with a Dingo underpinner, this machine will earn its keep in no time at all. The Dingo Underpinner, underpinning the great Australian dream. The standard forks are a cost-effective way of shifting loads up to 325 kilograms or 716 pounds. They're used in a variety of industries, including landscaping, manufacturing, and anywhere where loads need to be shifted in confined spaces. The 1200mm or 47-inch 4-in-1 bucket can be mounted with a broom. Being attached to the 4-in-1 bucket gives the broom greater dump height when emptying the bucket. This tool is used widely in factories, workshops, roadworks and car parks for removing rubbish and dust. The brush can be adjusted as it wears to maintain efficient sweeping. One of the most versatile attachments, the 4-in-1 bucket, is available in two sizes, 1050mm, which is the width of the standard machine, or alternatively as a 1200mm wide version for those wanting to move more dirt. Either way, however, the 4-in-1 bucket is available with teeth for tough digging conditions. It's a bucket, a blade, a grab, and a leveler all in one machine. The front hoe is the cheap alternative for digging small pits and trenches. With few moving parts of its own, the Dingo does all the work. The bucket is adjustable to suit the digging depth and is available with a range of widths from 200mm to 450mm. Typical uses are for planting large trees, digging entry and exit pits for large under-road borers, and digging pits for underground services. For a little extra money, however, it can be fitted with a hydraulic ram for a more versatile head. The Dingo's auxiliary hydraulic circuit can be used to power a multitude of portable and handheld hydraulic tools. Commonly used hand tools are jackhammers, wall crunchers, concrete saws, drills and post rammers. You can see here how the Dingo is used to power a hydraulic welder. This tool also doubles as a generator and is great when power is needed on remote job sites away from the mains power. Think of the Dingo as a hydraulic power pack on wheels. If you have a Dingo on site, you don't need other generators or compressors. The Dingo Lawn Aerator is a simple attachment using spikes to aerate the ground to promote healthier lawns. The spikes are 100 millimeters long and are spaced 150 millimeters apart over the whole roller. The roller is 1.2 meters or 47 inches wide. The aerator can be filled with water to increase downforce in hard conditions. For contractors and hire companies, the lawn aerator has proved itself as a useful way of value adding to a job. One of the most used attachments is also one of the simplest. The leveler, sometimes known as a Carryall, does exactly what each name implies. As a leveler, it's great, far easier to use than the 4-in-1 bucket or blade. The leveler makes job finishing simple and easy, adding a professional touch to your job. Some operators like to use the leveler in conjunction with the 4-in-1 bucket. Or join 3 levelers together for the bigger jobs. There are even mounting holes on the side to attach rippers, ideal for when it's necessary to loosen the ground beside a wall or fence. This is a very handy toolbar to which you can join an array of implements such as rippers, a tow bar, lifting jib, poly pipe layer, or the auger mate. The rippers are used in combination with the bucket to loosen hard ground. Use 3, 2, or 1 ripper depending on ground conditions. Even a D9 dozer has rippers. The poly pipe layer is used to lay poly pipe or any flexible cable to a depth of up to 300 millimeters. The jib is suitable for lifting engines, posts, or any other items up to 325 kilograms or 716 pounds, depending on your Dingo model. The auger mate takes the back strain out of lifting the large augers from their stands on the Dingo trailer. The Pallet Carrier provides a terrific mechanism to lift and move up to 1 ton on a pallet where a normal forklift will get bogged. The Pallet Carrier allows a way of shifting pallets of bricks, turf, or other items to where they're needed after they have been unloaded by delivery trucks in the street. Essentially, the Pallet Carrier is a self-loading trailer that the Dingo pushes around. It has a forklift base, hydraulic lifting abilities and large wheels to give it excellent rough terrain capabilities. Dingo's ability in post-hole digging is truly astounding. It can dig holes up to a massive 750 millimeters or 30 inches. With the correct digging teeth, the Dingo can even be used to dig through road base, bitumen and sandstone. For these extra hard conditions, the post-hole mate is a must to give you more downwards pressure. This is available in the simple form or a heavy-duty version to apply hydraulic down pressure. The Dingo post-hole digger is fitted with an anti-swing system which improves safety by reducing the potential for the auger to swing back and forth when travelling. Using an auger extension, you can easily dig down to 2.3 meters or 90 inches. If you need to go deeper, the Ezi-Drill attachment is the best choice. This unit digs to greater depths, up to 1.5 meters or 60 inches in a single pass, and multiples of that depth by adding extensions. The compact design of the Lifton L870 breaker makes it the ideal companion for the Dingo. With a variety of tools including points, chisels and tampers, the Dingo breaker is great for all kinds of demolition and compaction jobs. The real advantage of having a breaker mounted on the Dingo is that it is more productive than several men with handheld hammers, and there are none of the injury concerns associated with handheld hammers. The breaker has an adjustable mounting system that allows effective operation vertically or horizontally. The Dingo Rotary Hoe has a full 1 meter or 39-inch cut and digs to approximately 150 millimeters or 6 inches. Because the Dingo's ground speed is hydraulically variable, the hoe can be worked at a speed relative to the hardness of the soil being hoed. The result is a fine seed bed regardless of the soil conditions. The Dingo Stump Grinder features real versatility. Unlike other machines which generally wave across the stump from a pivot between the cutters and the operator, the Dingo Stump Grinder hangs over the stump and swings back and forth. Being operated in this manner enables it to throw the waste product away from the operator and gives the operator perfect vision of the operation. The Dingo, being the most powerful machine of its type, has enough power to run the Stump Grinder without the need for the Stump Grinder to have its own engine. The stump can be ground to 600mm or 2 feet below the ground if necessary. The Dingo Stump Grinder features button-style teeth that can be rotated to 3 positions. This means you can wear out the teeth 3 times before you need to sharpen or replace them. The Grab, or 3-in-1, is the ultimate site cleanup tool. It will grab logs or piles of sticks, debris, hay, and any other awkward or heavy materials. The 3-in-1 is ideal for raking rocks, bricks, sticks and other debris from a job site. The grated floor is designed to allow dirt and sand to fall away while the larger debris is removed. There are 7 different traction options available with the Dingo. Narrow wheels are fitted with solid tyres and allow the Dingo to go places where other machines can't go. A K9-4 is just 780mm or 31 inches and a K9-3 just 860mm wide. A narrow bucket is available to match the machine width with the narrow wheels. The forklift tyres are 150mm or 6 inches wide and are the best option for most hard surface applications. The non-marking solid tyres carry more weight and allow the Dingo to skid more easily on hard surfaces. The all-purpose tyres are specially designed for Dingo with a unique tread pattern for excellent performance in a range of conditions. They are 6-ply for strength and stability and a compound designed for maximum durability. In most cases, new Dingos come fitted with the all-purpose tyres. Turf tyres allow you to travel across turf and soft ground with minimal damage. Lug tyres give you that extra bit of traction, excellent for trenching applications. Sand tyres are a larger sized turf tyre that work well in dry, sandy conditions. They aren't as stable or durable in normal conditions, but they sure beat getting bogged in the sand. The Dingo dog tracks are the ultimate in traction. It is amazing what the dog tracks will pull the Dingo through. They're great for mud, slush and sand. The tracks fit over the top of the normal Dingo tyres and feature individual polyurethane pads that won't mark the pavement and will allow dirt and mud to escape from between the tracks. Nowadays, it is well known that the Dingo and trencher combination will outperform most larger machines and all pedestrian trenchers on the market today. What makes the Dingo such a good trenching machine? Firstly, the Dingo hydraulic system allows most of the oil to be directed to the trencher, right where the power is needed. Secondly, Dingo recognises that the most efficient trenching machines use better quality chains fitted with more teeth. The number of cutting teeth, combined with the correct chain speed, allows for the best possible cut. Thirdly, Dingo trenchers use a special drive sprocket designed by Dingo for sticky soil types and sandy conditions where other trenchers simply jam. Yes, the Dingo trencher easily cuts through roots, rock and other obstacles. All Dingo trenches have the ability to side shift to allow trenching beside walls and fences. A crummer bar is optional, but considered a must to keep the bottom of the trench clean. Most Dingo trenches are set up with cup teeth for common digging conditions. If trenching through bitumen or rock, however, the Dig-Attack rock teeth are a better option. The Dingo trencher can be set up to trench widths from 100mm or 4 inches up to 300mm or 12 inches. The turf cutter is a great way for the Dingo Contractor to value add his service. Rather than cutting a trench across a grassed area such as golf fairways or football ovals, which leaves a scar, the turf cutter allows you to first remove a strip of turf 300mm or 12 inches wide. You can then dig your trench, install the pipe, backfill the trench, and then replace the turf. This is definitely a more pleasing result for the customer. Yes, the turf cutter allows you to offer a service that other contractors will not be able to offer. Dingo's under-road boring system is the low-cost way to install small diameter pipe and cable with minimal surface damage. Boring is done completely horizontally. The unit is lowered into a trench to the designed depth before commencing boring, so that the rods need not be bent. By starting drilling horizontally, accuracy is maximised. This system can also pull the pipe or cable back through, leaving the ground virtually undisturbed. A wet boring system is also available for larger diameter work. This system is perfect for installing utilities and irrigation under footpaths and driveways. The compact size of the Dingo means it is easily transported on a trailer. You don't need a truck to get your Dingo kit from one job to the other. The heavy-duty Dingo trailers are designed to carry your Dingo and attachments neatly and securely. A Dingo trailer can be the best advertising for your business. It's something that grabs people's attention. Wherever you go, people will notice a properly set up Dingo trailer.
I think I worked it out, if I could get 6 hours a week, I'd be as well off as what I was doing a 60-hour week for the last company to pay for the machine, and the rest is on top to help buy the other bits and pieces. So if I could get, 10, 15, 20 hours a week, it was good going, and at the moment you're getting 35, 40, anywhere up to 50. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. Too easy. Yeah.
Oh, for Dingo Contractors an opportunity, it's just wide open. Like I've got this one set up virtually as a mini combination, and that's what it is. It's a limited access machine, can do anything that a mini excavator can do anything that a bobcat can do. And we've had it in situations where it's put a bobcat to shame. People are becoming more and more aware from seeing us in places like this and seeing what they can do. Then it just opens the doors for you. Oh, it's the best decision we ever made to buy a Dingo. We haven't looked back with it. And it just keeps snowballing and snowballing. If it keeps going the way it is, we're going to have to go and buy another one.
The fact that around 80% of the hire industry in Australia use Dingo as their first choice for this type of machine is testimony to the toughness, user-friendliness and low-maintenance requirements of the Dingo.
Because these safety reliability and performance measures meet Kennard's requirements, Dingo has become our preferred supplier of mini diggers. This we find to be a win-win situation for all parties. Good for Kennards, good for Dingo, and importantly, good for our customers.
When we opened our branch in October 2003, we had 1 Dingo. Since then, we have to increase to 2 Dingos to meet our requirements during the week and weekend. The customer feedback we get is very good because not only can they use the machine to move soil, but they can also dig trench and do fences and post hole diggers. They can use the machine for 4 or 5 different applications. They are more than happy with the amount of work they can do with a little machine. Maintenance-wise, we are very impressed. We have had no major maintenance problem with the machines. We only got to do our normal everyday routine daily checks.
I purchased a Dingo probably 6 or 8 months ago after hiring one a few times. We've been using it on our building sites for various, from stump holes, digging stump holes, site cleans, excavation. We found it to be an excellent machine. I've saved on labour costs, don't have to employ people to do labouring and stuff like that. And we've also found it extra things that we can do with it, lifting, moving, just things that we would never have thought you could do with the machine. It's been very handy. Every time I take the machine out, we find a new use for it. A lot of lifting stuff, a lot of lifting applications which we just wouldn't be able to lift with, you'd need 4 or 5 blokes to lift different items on site, from heavy steel workbenches to air conditioning units and stuff like that. The lifting's been great. The site cleans, what we're able to do with cleaning, general cleaning of sites and removing of rubbish has been fantastic. And probably what's really surprised me, its capability of digging with the post hole digger. It's been really, really good, especially with the 600mm auger. It's been fantastic. Going the depths it can go to and the power it has been great. A good friend of mine's and a contractor of ours got a Bobcat. When I first purchased the machine, he was writing to me, it's only a toy, it won't do this, it won't do that. We've sort of compared the machines and he's been quite surprised at the size, what the capabilities of the machine have got, digging capabilities with the post hole digger and what it can do compared to the size of his Bobcat. He's been extremely surprised. Yeah, he's got a truck that, $50,000, $60,000 truck that he's got to cart his Bobcat around with. I can fit it on my ute, got all my attachments on there, yeah, and transport costs are a heap cheaper. And he's also miffed that the contractors are getting pretty much the same hourly rate as what he's getting, and they don't have half the overheads. We're a small builder, just domestic construction. I'd highly recommend it. I, to date, I've sort of hired the thing out, me driving it to a few contractors and stuff like that. We've dug storm water drains for the plumber, we've dug underground cabling for the electrician. These are things that I'd have to pay them to do, they're now paying me to do. It means I'm still on site supervising my job. Even site cleans. Yesterday I did a site clean. I had the guys working on site. People might say, oh, the boss is doing site cleans, but I'm keeping an eye on everything, I'm there to answer questions. I did a site clean yesterday, it would have cost me probably $500 for a Bobcat, or $350 odd for to get a labourer in there for a couple of days, and I did it in 2 hours myself, and kept an eye on the site. Was there, the client was rapt to see me on the machine, so it's been highly recommended to a small builder. The initial outlay some people balk at, but it pays for itself very, very quickly.
We use the Dingo out on landscaping jobs and also hire it out with the driver. We've had exceptional success with it. It cuts down a lot of time in manual labour. Reliability has been brilliant. Service it every few months and haven't had any major problems with it. Move a lot of soil, etc. with it, but you can break up concrete. We've also got augers which dig up to 600mm, I think it is. Just anything and everything you just about do with it. Being such a small machine, access is phenomenal. We can get through gates outside of houses and all sorts of things like that. Most unusual thing we had to use it for was loaded a 14-metre truck with it by building a ramp out of soil and driving up onto it. It took a while, but we got there in the end. Yes, I'd have no problem in recommending a Dingo for all sorts of use.
Yeah, well, we've been running Dingos now for 6, 7, 8 years. We've had a very good run with them, we can't complain at all. As far as maintenance and that goes, we have very little problem, especially with the newer ones, with the K94s. As far as backup goes from Dingo, we find that fantastic, really. Usually it's a phone call and within 3 or 4 hours there's something happening. No, we're quite happy with it. Looking forward, yes, we'll probably need, I'd say in the near future we'll be looking for a few more. They're quite hard to keep in the yard. It's most unusual today to have 3 sitting here. It's very strange, but I think the weather might have something to do with that. But I'd say, I shouldn't say this in front of the Dingo man here, but we'll probably be looking for a couple more very soon.
Because these safety, reliability and performance measures meet Kennard's requirements, Dingo has become our preferred supplier of mini diggers. This we find to be a win-win situation for all parties. Good for Kennards, good for Dingo, and importantly, good for our customers.
When we opened our branch in October 2003, we had 1 Dingo. Since then, we have to increase to 2 Dingos to meet our requirements during the week and weekend. The customer feedback we get is very good. They can use the machine for 4 or 5 different applications. They are more than happy with the amount of work they can do with a little machine. Maintenance-wise, we are very impressed. We have had no major maintenance problem with the machines. We only got to do our normal everyday routine daily checks.
Yep, we've had the Dingo for 18 months now. Found it very efficient and very good machinery in our hire section. Very low maintenance machine. Can do some of the maintenance here in their workshop, but we still like to send the machine down to Dingo Australia for its servicing, just so we know it's out when it's out in the field, it's reliable and in good health. Our Dingo is always booked out on weekdays and weekends. It's fully booked out for the next 3 months, which is a great thing for the Dingo and our business. Very hard areas to get into, like such as backyards where they can't get excavators in. The Dingo can get through small gateways for such as trenching, removing topsoil and that around. The contractors find it very easy manoeuvrable to get in tight spots. Really great machinery, would recommend it to any tradesman, any person around.
With mini diggers, we've had a landscape business for 16 years, and for the first few years we used to do it the old-fashioned way with a 6-metre pile of soil dumped out the front and 3 guys on barrows for most of the day taking it in. Then we decided to buy a mini digger to lighten the load a bit on the boys to get the full productivity out of them for the day. Reliability's been really good with the Dingos. We changed from an opposition brand, and which we had a fair bit of reliability trouble with the hydraulics. We purchased our first Dingo. We bought 2 of them at the one time. They're still in the fleet now, some 8 years later. But since then, it's only been purely maintenance issues and you know, a bit of driver abuse from time to time. But they have been a very reliable machine. And we've still got the first 2 that we brought some 8 years ago still operating in the fleet with a staff of 25 guys. I think that speaks for itself. The Dingo with the trenching attachment has been fantastic for getting down the tight spots and excavating quite high areas of excavation, and just where you can't get the excavators in. We've found that very cost effective and good on our labour costs to do it that way. The one thing now when we send guys out onto a job, whether it only be 2 or 3 metres of soil and there's not a spare Dingo in the factory, they'll really put on a song and dance that they haven't got the machine to work with. So the amount of time and effort and the appreciation that everybody's got for it. When you think back to it was only sort of 10 years ago when it was all done by hand. It's quite amazing how everybody changes so quickly to be so reliant upon it. It's they're a great machine for just making the day a bit easier on everybody. They're so reliable that they just keep going, and we can't see why that we won't be continuing to grow our fleet as the work permits, because they just keep going.
Well, we first came across Dingo, we had a large project, the Fast Rail project, down at Geelong, and we realised the fact in the past we've used contractors, the post hole borers. We felt the need to have flexibility, that we needed to invest in some type of machinery. And we found the benefits of this have been immense. We realised at the start of the project that we needed flexibility. We needed certain holes dug on certain days, and currently, and in the past, we haven't had that flexibility with external post contractors. This has been a huge benefit to our company. A lot of small and medium-sized jobs, we have the flexibility to be prompt and go ahead and get the job done straight away. One of the main reasons we purchased the Dingo, we looked around, we saw other alternatives, but what attracted us was the new K4, the strength of the diesel engine, and the fact that they've got backup service, they're close, they're reliable, they're well known. Our contractors have also found added benefits we have purchased the auger. We start with the 250 diameter and have gone up as big as 500 and found no real issue in most surfaces or most ground conditions. But also with the 4-in-1 bucket that we've got, this has saved a lot of time on site, clearing up the spoils from the holes. Previously, we've done this very manually with a shovel in the back of a ute or a trailer. This is half or more than half the time in the cleanup. Looking forward, I can see more and more benefits, more and more flexibility, and the ability for us to continue to jump on jobs quickly and be an advantage to us in front of our competitors. That's one thing with the Dingo, it's very easy to use, very easy to pick up if you've never used it before. I've actually done a few foreigner jobs myself at home and found that very useful, especially with a bucket clearing up soil and dirt. We also, from time to time, get some of our permanent employees to tow it out with our vehicle and go straight to a job and dig the holes there. If I was asked the question, would I recommend Dingo to other people, I could definitely say yes. This has been a huge advantage to our company, and I recommend it to anyone that would ask me.
I've had the machine for about 5 years. We've got a lot of earth moving equipment. I find the Dingo is a very useful machine. The thing I like about the Dingo, you've got the initial outlay, but then after that, everything else you buy is relatively cheap. Like you can get a backhoe for say $12,000. I mean that's pretty good. Trenches, graders, everything's good. I'm happy with the machine. I had hired them before and used them before I actually purchased one, and I thought it was a good machine. It's well designed. Someone's put a lot of thought into it, and it's strong. Yeah, they're not a toy. They're quite a strong little machine. I looked at other machines, but I did like the Dingo. It's a low maintenance machine. I service it every 100 hours. I do it with all the equipment, but it's a fairly low maintenance machine. I think it's good quality. I think it's well designed, and quite strong once you get used to using it. Quite a strong machine for its size. I've done jobs. I've dug out under houses for people that had seepage problems. Like with limited space, I've used the backhoe and then taken the dirt out with the loader. Under houses, this particular job here, you would not fit another machine in there. I've used the Dingo to dig the trench to lay this 300mm stormwater pipe. It's about, you can probably see it there, but that's about the trench is about nearly 5 foot deep. I've had to take all the dirt out of there with the Dingo, and it's performed very well. The building next to me on my left was getting flooded out, so they hired in a bobcat with a backhoe on it, which excavated a trench, but the trench wasn't good enough to lay a drain in, so the only machine I could get in here was the Dingo. To re-dig the trench, I put sleepers across and re-dug the trench. It's probably about 5 foot deep. As you can see there, that's a 300mm pipe, but it's well below that. I redug the trench, brought all the dirt out. You have to use a dingo to do it. I'm very happy with it. I've had a lot of machines over the last 40 years, but yeah, it's a quality product. The backup's good. I think for plumbers, they're a very useful machine. They do everything really. I use it all the time. Yeah, we've got 6 trucks on the road. We've got backhoes and I've got all sorts of equipment. I use the dingo all the time. I like it.
I've seen them a lot around the place and thought that they were a bit of a toy until I got hold of the machine and used it and worked with it. It worked excellent. It works well above its expectations, I think. I think I worked it out, if I could get 6 hours a week, I'd be as well off as what I was doing a 60-hour week for the last company to pay for the machine, and the rest is on top to help buy the other bits and pieces. So if I could get 10, 15, 20 hours a week, it was good going, and at the moment you're getting 35, 40, anywhere up to 50. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. Too easy. Yeah.
The advantage of the dingo now, and especially now, is in Brisbane and virtually anywhere. Your building blocks are down to a small size. They put a house on it, and it's getting to the stage where you can't get big machines in. So you need a limited access machine, and this machine will get there. It'll go through now 970mm opening. We can get it down with narrow wheels. To get it into here, we had to come through a doorway that's under 1 metre wide. You won't get a bobcat in there. So the future's in these small machines. And they've got so much power and there's so many different attachments that you can get for them. So I've got a trencher for it, and on trenching it's quicker than the bobcat. It's got more power, and the hydraulic system seems to be a hell of a lot more advanced. And it just saves us so much time. Like what we've done in here this morning with it probably put us about 3 days ahead. If you had fellas in here on jackhammers, and then you've got to shift it. Well, we can do all that while the machine's in here. Oh, for Dingo Contractors, an opportunity, it's just wide open. Like I've got this one set up virtually as a mini combination, and that's what it is. It's a limited access machine, can do anything that a mini excavator can do anything that a bobcat can do. And we've had it in situations where it's put a bobcat to shame. People are becoming more and more aware from seeing us in places like this and seeing what they can do. Then it just opens the doors for you. Oh, it's the best decision we ever made to buy a dingo. We haven't looked back with it, and it just keeps snowballing and snowballing. If it keeps going the way it is, we're going to have to go and buy another one.
Well, our mini loader that we've got here, it's used for a lot of uses. It's a pretty versatile tool and extremely important. We use it for clean-up primarily, first thing. Then it's used for carrying tools, equipment around, carrying parts of the plant, pump parts, screen parts. We use it for pushing equipment around if we're working on the big loaders and we want something to act as a strong man. We use the loader to push gear around.
Yeah, well, our plan is we go out and we check the power poles for safety reasons. The dingo makes it a lot easier, of course, a lot better than using a shovel. You can get around a pole where you might have crop, for instance, or fences close by, and you can manoeuvre the dingo in. Anything any bigger would, yeah, you'd have to have bigger equipment to carry it, of course. In some of the places we do get, the smaller the gear you take, the better. My word.
Basically, I purchased my first dingo 23 years ago. After hiring one to dig up the front yard at my place, I started off using it mainly for shifting loose soil, gravel and sand, for levelling some bases for footings, because I was a concreter before. I found I could not do a lot more with it than just levelling and shifting loose stuff. I started using it for moving old concrete slabs in areas where we had to lay new ones. I'd also use it for moving stuff that you'd usually have 3 or 4 guys over an entire day. With the risk of injury, of course, the dingo was doing it in less time, with less effort put in it. I bought other attachments like the trencher, it's on the trailer somewhere behind us. post hole digger for digging holes, and a rotary hoe later on, which has earned its money today, that's for sure. Because my other contractor friends needed that kind of work done, so I figured I'd get those attachments to help them out. And then I got jobs tilling soil, rotary hoeing soil for lawn preparation like today, digging holes for retaining walls and trenching for irrigation and stormwater. When I was first buying the Dingo, I did look into getting other machines, and I almost got actually one of them, but I picked the Dingo because I thought the 2-pump hydraulic system, the arm setup and manoeuvrability made it more versatile and a better choice for my kind of work. Another thing I liked about the Dingo was its narrow access ability, which has come in handy nowadays with all the houses getting a bit smaller with narrow access at the back. Especially with the way Australian housing industry goes these days, you just can't get big machines into the backs of houses anymore. With the Dingo being a little over a metre wide, I can get it into the backyards of houses with narrow access and clean them up ready for paving, gardening, lawn and general landscaping jobs. In terms of maintenance, the Dingo is quite a tough and robust machine, as long as you keep on top of the oil and air filters and put it through regular oil changes. I've had to do bigger maintenance jobs in the past. Most of all, it consists of replacing worn out bushes. That's the regular things that go on this. In the arms of sprockets and the sprockets for the chains, basically I'm lucky to be able to do that myself. It's pretty basic, so you can do that sort of stuff yourself. The only really big maintenance job I've ever had to put the machine through was when the old motor blew up. After 14 years, the old engine oil ran, the old machine, the engine oil ran low. That basically killed the old motor, so I had to order a new one, which I installed by myself. And ever since that mishap, that was back in 2016, the machine has run as well as it did before. Still like brand new, old brand new. I've used the machine for all kinds of interesting jobs over the 23 years that I've had. There was one job, plenty of jobs actually, but there was one job where we had to dig trenches for irrigation across a golf course. That was interesting, trying to stay off the green. They were pretty fussy about that one. And it's done many jobs in the Adelaide Hills where other machines can't get in because the ground is too uneven for them. But the Dingo has been able to do it like a champion. I've also had the machine in basements and cellars where it's been lowered in there by a crane. I can operate the machine down there to dig and clean up everything out, all the little corners that the big machines can't get to. So they asked me to stockpile it in the corner and off we go. One of the most memorable jobs I ever did was where we were working in the basement in one of Adelaide's oldest pubs in Port Adelaide actually, and I think it was over about 150 years old, and we had to clean out a heap of soil and gravel that down the basement so they could turn it into a set of adaptable rooms. The Dingo was the only machine that could get in there without demolishing the building. We set up some ramps and up and down I went with the Dingo. I think I was down there for a week digging out the basement, found all sorts of relics under there from the 1850s, I reckon, old smoking pipes and old beer bottles, and just a lot of interesting stuff was down there. But yeah, it's revolutioned the building trade, I think, and the contractor landscapers and all you other contractors out there. There are so many different attachments, and it's all thanks to this revolutionary 2-pump hydraulic system, hydraulic pump. So basically, as they say, it's a hydraulic pump on wheels, and you can use it for many things. Throughout my 30 years of concreting, I've had many different workers who have all come and gone, but the Dingo has managed to outlast them all, which is why I highly recommend the Dingo to any small or big time contractor.
So now that you've seen what a Dingo can do, the next question is, how do you get a closer look? Well, it's as simple as phoning or dropping into your local Dingo branch.
Oh, right, so what you're saying to me is this is a more powerful machine.
Each branch has a display of the latest Dingo equipment and is staffed with trained sales and service personnel who can answer your questions. And what are they there for? Yes, to help you get the most from your Dingo. Go on, Check out the all-new Dingo K9 range today. The best just got better.